Pretty good days today. Man, it's been a wild one as far as Bitcoin's been concerned. We had yesterday's day candle slash today's day candle, really having a big pump here after we had a nice little breakout over the past few days. And today, so far, even though the past couple hours, we've still seen Bitcoin continue to have a small pump here. So we're going to be talking about that. Maybe some news around the FAA and what actually went on there, because I think we're still learning about it. But there was a lot of good news today. But well, sorry, Loki's over here underneath my arm trying to get belly rubs and whatnot. But we'll talk about it a good amount of stuff here today. All right, let me turn down one thing off my mic here very fast. There we go. And hey, little Cole, hey, the real transporter Starscream. Happy to see you in CryptoWorks. Happy you guys are all here. Let's go over here very fast. Let's just go to, there we go. Now, there's been a whole bunch of stuff so far. Futures are down, not by a lot. They're like less than a percent. So we're still looking fine there. There's an article out right now saying inflation is expected to have declined in December, but it may not be enough to stop the Fed. We'll see how inflation is. I'm guessing it'll be fine based off of the last few months that we've had decent inflation, decent amounts of inflation coming down, right? There are some worries that right now that more and more layoffs are starting to happen, but it still hasn't been to a level where I think people are worried about it just yet, okay? And hey, Puma, Jim Bob, hope you guys are doing well, and hey, Low Roller Scratcher as well. So that's kind of the news I've been looking at today. Not really much, too much crazy stuff, right? And, Bed Bath & Beyond, AMC, looks like they had some gains here, which has been pretty interesting. I don't really talk about those too much, but Bed Bath & Beyond, there's bankruptcy warning, so there might be a short squeeze going on there, as shorts have really piled onto it. Excuse me. So going back to the last few days of Bitcoin, we're still in this general uptrend here. That's perfectly fine. I don't really see any concern at this point in time. With Bitcoin, you could always add another trend line or something more like this, right? But for now, I think Bitcoin's fine. As far as, not breaking down below this trend line anytime soon. My concern right now is, if I can take this off here. There we go. We're kind of in that scale out zone I was talking to you about yesterday and over the past few days. If we did have a rally here, I'm really just basing this zone off of the wick we experienced from the June lows, based off of the lowest closing candle that I could find before the FTX disaster happened. So right now, to me, this is more of a scale-out zone than a really buying-in zone. If we have some type of dip, I'd be very happy to kind of do some more trades off of it. But right now, I'm kind of scaling out a little bit. The only trade I really told you guys about yesterday that I was going to be doing was XRP. And XRP did have a pop yesterday, which is actually really good. I made a few bucks off of that, so that was pretty exciting. So let me actually go over to XRP very fast. There we go. So it's actually down a little bit now, but you can see during yesterday's candle, remember I told you guys I'm looking for stuff that really hasn't hit that 50-day moving average yet. That was the beautiful pop that we wanted to see, and on top of that, we had a breakout as well. So you go over here, the 4-hour chart, you can see it was already choppy. Had a little bit of a, I think that worked right there. Had a little bit of a pennant right here, and that pennant was able to get us a nice little breakout, right? Or a good thing about this is it's just a triangle. It's up to you guys. But, bullish action, consolidation pattern right here, then boom. Continuation pattern right there. And so far, XRP had a big boom. I am not holding XRP anymore as far as that trade is concerned. I made my money. I'm perfectly happy to take my that money to the bank with me, at least at this point, okay? As far as anything else that I'm kind of keeping an eye on, really not too much. I see stuff like FTM and AXS are popping right now, but I was really trading these things in between the 20 and the 50-day moving averages. If you guys want to hop on board some of these plays, by all means, go for it. Bitcoin could always go a little bit higher here. Now, this is, again, my personal scale-out level, what I like, and I have a habit of getting out of positions a little bit too early. We've talked about this numerous times. But if we go back over here to the weekly chart, let's just kind of hop on over this. You can see at this point in time, we're coming into contact with the 20-week moving average. I think we should be able to break out above this if we have good news going into the rest of the week with inflation and stuff like that. That'll be the catalyst that can possibly get us back up to $19,000, $20,000. I'm still saying it's a big if. And personally, I've just been a little bit worried about the 20-week moving average because it seems like every time we get into contact with this thing, we just seem to get dumped upon. I would say if you're looking at some of these larger charts right now, as far as Bitcoin or larger time frames, all I'm looking for right there is that if we have good news tomorrow with all this information of the data coming out, that means we should theoretically, again, this is why I'm more hesitant about buying right now. Tomorrow, maybe I can buy something in there as well. I can buy something. If we can break out here, then we can actually get up to $21,000. We could always have a little bit of a rally until we run into the 50 or the 200. Eventually, I think we're going to be coming back down. I still think this is some type of pattern like we experienced back over here, where it was a few months of nice little moves, but mostly sideways with a big pop before we dropped. A few months over here of going up, right? We could even came back up again if it wasn't for FTX that occurred that week. But I do think there's an opportunity now for us to bounce up a little bit higher. I just want you guys to know there is a big level of resistance here. There is a big level of resistance coming for the NASDAQ as well, the SPY as well. A lot of resistance levels over here. I'm hopeful that we can break out above these and go more sideways for a little bit. I'd be perfectly fine with that, everybody. But I am treating this very cautiously because we're going to need news to really pump us up from here. Bitcoin, however, is looking like it just wants to take this next step. Especially because if you go to the daily chart, you can see how we've just been building and building up for something really big here. It seems like we might have one more big pop in us. I've scaled out of a lot of my positions personally. These are more spot trades, not so much leverage trades. I do more day trading with leverage. I told you guys that. But for these spot trades here, I'm still looking at small things that have been known to have these nice little pops. You see Dogecoin now, it has the ability to maybe get back up here to 8 cents, 8.5 cents or something like that. BNB definitely had that little bit of a FUD spell here, but now BNB showing some strength. It can get back up here to $318 if Bitcoin does do that pop and start heading back to that 200 weekly moving average level, 20,000, maybe 21,000. I'll still believe it when I see it type of stuff, right? But you can still make the trades and put your stop losses at a good spot right now. But I don't really... We talked about this the other day. You guys can see this. Let me scroll that down right there. I'm really just looking on the 7-day chart. What hasn't popped yet? That again, that's not a stable coin, right? Mostly everything has popped by now. Leo is something, but this thing seems to be having an issue right now, Leo. But if I go over here, go to crypto. Is there something with Binance here, or is it only there? Maybe it's not on Binance. All right, Leo dollar. Yeah, it doesn't get much volume here. But you can see how this thing's been falling off of a rock. This may be the next thing that pops up here. I will buy some to see how it goes. It's currently at 348. I'll see if one of my exchanges has it. I didn't see it on Binance, so that was a little confusing to me, at least on the charting software here. So I'll buy some Leo and see what happens. We're getting close to a support zone over here. Get that magnet off of there. That'll be my little play. The last few plays we talked about, they've all done pretty well. We started off with Ethereum Classic, then ADA, then we moved over to XRP yesterday. That did okay today as well. Leo seems to be the next thing I'm looking at because it has a possibility of getting back some gains if Bitcoin can find a way to break out here. I'll see before I make the trade. I'm just going to see if there's any bad news circulating it, like something like an investigation, their money's all lost, something that would mess with the technicals, if you will, something fundamental there. But as far as everything else, Toncoin is doing something, that hasn't really moved up in the last few days, but it has moved up for a lot in the last 90 days. So, I'm being patient about this. But mostly everything I'm looking at has really popped up, guys. Pax Dollar, probably a stable coin, yeah. Huobi token, that may be something that's been going down quite a bit. That's an exchange token, so if you guys like those, that could be interesting. I already have quite a bit of those tokens. I buy tokens for every single exchange just in case they go somewhere. Anything else here? BitTorrent's up a little bit as well. PancakeSwap. Gate token, if you guys like that. Gate token may be something here. But mostly everything else has popped up a little bit. Maybe this one right here if it's not too expensive. 41 cents, maybe. But this thing also seems like it's been going down quite a bit as well here. So keep an eye out for some of those coins that really haven't popped. I'm using the 7-day percentage level here personally, but you guys can use something else. XCN may be something you guys may be looking at here, but I'm looking at a whole bunch of stuff that's popped up 5-20%. Usually after that, we do have a little bit of a pullback here, so I'm patiently waiting. What's right here? Gala is also pumping, but Gala's had an interesting few days. So this is more of a day trade if you ask me, especially after that dip and kind of weird sideways action we're seeing. If I go over here to the 15-minute chart, you can see how kind of weird this has been. Had an opportunity to break out, kind of did, but then it just kind of fell flat. So I'll go over here very fast. There we go. Kind of in a weird spot if you ask me, but almost had a double bottom type of play here. Kind of broke out, came back down, especially because there was a double top within the double bottom, right? Double top within the double bottom there. Might be making another double top right now, actually. But something interesting you guys might want to check out. Golf, to me, is better for short-term moves, like stuff like that. But usually what I do is I don't really trade too much of that type of Gala stuff. It's more of a kind of just catching onto the ride. Like buy the dip, see if it rips, but using a moving average to kind of help you out there a little bit. But I haven't really been trading this too much. Let me see. Anything else with Gala? Oops, I dragged something I shouldn't have, but that's okay. Nah, oh, you're heading up to some resistance levels over here back from October. So, I think there's some plays out there if you guys want to take them, but it looks like right now my play is going to be Leo here. Now, just so we know, the Fibonacci levels just got blown out of the water today. There's not really any resistance that was actually like hit. It just kind of got blown through. So let me do this very fast. Like just slam through that, slam through that, slam through that. I don't even know if this next one will even be a problem for it, but that's around 18,615. Again, we have the trend line. We have the 20-week moving average there as well. But we've really just been breaking out of here. Only the first one really seemed to give any credence to a level of resistance there. And then so if you guys also want to do another one here, just in case you guys like the shorter time frames, you can always do something like this. A little bit there, a little bit there. Not much here, but maybe on the 15-minute chart you saw something. No, not really much there. Maybe a little bit there as well. So we're heading for some resistance, everybody. I'll be watching this closely, but Bitcoin at this moment in time seems like it wants to pump up a little bit more. Then going back over to Ethereum, here's the let's go to the daily chart, make it easier. Ethereum is currently breaking out. To me, you guys know that I think that Ethereum can lead Bitcoin in some circumstances, and Ethereum is currently breaking out. Now, is it breaking out on the daily chart? Yes, but it hasn't closed yet? No, so you can be patient with it. But to me, this is pretty much a breakout at this point. Maybe if I zoom in here a little bit, maybe it really was a breakout. It could be. I would have to double check that I'm actually at these points. No, because I don't have those adjusted. I probably made this on a weekly chart or something like that. So right there. Where is that second? Oh, there it is. Okay, hasn't broken out yet. This is why I double checked. Hasn't broken out yet, or maybe if I go to the 4 hour, maybe that'll even be more specific. But we're on the verge of a breakout here. But at the same time, again, everything is at resistance levels, which is why I'm scaling out of some positions. And if it continues to rally, my spot positions will continue to be scaled out. I'm not really holding these for a long period of time here. I already have my long-term portfolio that's still being held, and that long-term portfolio is definitely liking all this crazy price action right now. Let's see. And hey, Bradford, Jonathan, hope you're doing well. Hold on, let me get rid of that comment YouTube is trying to make to me. And there we go. Hi, Mike. I think the market will go down. They said Powell is not happy about too much spending. I don't see him lowering rates anytime soon. Yeah, I still think in the long run, we're still going to be having a terrible market for 2023. However, right now the charts are saying, the charts are saying we had a breakout a few days ago. We talked about that already. But it all depends on how the news goes. Because to me, what's changed, how my perception has really changed over the last 6 to 8 months is I have just come to think that the market itself has been behaving very irrationally. And with that irrational behavior, I've been seeing stuff that should be bad news to be turned into good news because the whole conversation is around the Federal Reserve, rate hikes, and stuff like that. I am going to continue to be bearish on these assets for the medium term, as we go into quarter 2, Q3, right? However, when we do have these nice little moves, I do like to enjoy playing with them. But so far, if inflation data is good, I do think Bitcoin can get up to $20,000 after that. Maybe the day after that, though, things start to come back down, especially as the NASDAQ and the SPY are going to be at those major levels of resistance. The only thing that's not really fighting that level of resistance right now is the Dow Jones, which we've talked about before. This thing already broke out a while ago, but that's because the Dow Jones isn't really involved in tech. And then when we do have these really bad economic periods, go back from a historical context, you can see we have these little dips, but that's not nearly as bad as the Dow. Remember, like, just look at these two charts right here. Dow went down from 14,000 to 6,000. That was a big drop. Over here, .com bubble, which I think we're kind of more in that type of bubble environment right now. It only came down from 11,800 down to 7,000. Now look at this chart. Compare that to the NASDAQ chart in that same time period. You can see how much overvalued this is. And you can see how much different it is over here as far as tech is concerned. I think tech still has a long way to go. But we don't see those monthly moving averages crossing over until I think April. So SPY, still going to be a while away. But again, get rid of all this nonsense here. We could easily have a breakout later on this month if we're lucky. Then we probably would have to fight up with this 20-month moving average. Then we would have to fight with the 50-week moving average as well. But I don't know if we're going to break out here. Maybe we could just have some type of double top and just start falling back down. But until then, we do have a nice new level of support right there. So patiently waiting. The way we're gearing up right now with some more rationality, though, I could easily see us switching the tune temporarily just before we start getting some bad news coming out that really drops the market like a rock. Yeah, maybe I'm just second guessing myself as far as bearishness, but I am more worried about something like that happening where we have this like false breakout over the next few months, and then not even false breakout, just a breakout, but then all of a sudden the world starts to fall apart, with a recession and stuff like that, and that grinds us down even more. And then we can kind of watch to see if Bitcoin manages to break out over the next few minutes or so. There you go, because you can see it's still building up right now. I just want to see if that Leo will go over here. So let me add Leo onto this. Leo on Bitfinex. Is there another one that's better than this? I like using Binance because the data is more complete. There's more trades. The chart looks a little bit nicer. Guess not. So let's just go to add that right there. And it's down a little bit today, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see if that thing can pop up. Right now it looks like Gala is the play. Currently, the downtrend might be able to break out here in the next few minutes, go up to 15 to 20% today. Shiba is also making a move right here. This may be something I'd rather hop on than the other one. Hitting that level of resistance, testing it out. And then, of course, Dogecoin is continuing to make some moves here. Only got stopped up one day here, but I don't even know what this is. Oh, this is a very long-term Fibonacci play. Oh, wait, this is... Where's the low point here? Oh, this is a retracement. I don't know what I was thinking. There we go. Yeah, Dogecoin's testing out right now. Again, playing the 50-day to 20-day moving average. I can see Dogecoin really getting back up towards 8.5 cents here. But Bitcoin's going to have to do that pop as well. This is gearing up for a big pop. So we'll keep an eye on Dogecoin and Bitcoin here, it looks like. But for whatever reason, the chart just doesn't look right on my screen. But maybe that's because everything's so small. There we go. Okay, there we go. But looking at a nice breakout, everybody. I'm liking this so far. And hey, Bideford, hope you're doing well. Just sort of watching. Any thoughts on Solana? Solana to me has come back a lot after all the FUD around FTX and Binance and stuff like that. Would probably be fun to day trade or maybe even do a short-term swing. But right now, let's go to the daily chart. It's already had that big pump. It already had another one over here. I would say if you wanted to trade this, it's one of those things where I probably wouldn't use leverage on it because it can be kind of finicky with all the news. However, the heck? Oh, I know what's bothering me. Hold on a second here. I'm going to make the text go to 20 so you guys can see the numbers a little bit easier. We're fighting. I hate the magnet, but I like the magnet at the same time. We're fighting with that resistance. If we break out above this, Solana is going to soar, and it could possibly soar all the way back up here to 25 bucks. Now, would it be irrational? Yes. Would there be a big dump after it happened? Yes. But if you guys sold somewhere up there, you'd be pretty happy about buying it at 16 bucks and selling it at 24 bucks. So I'm patiently watching it. I do think this is something that you guys should be watching, but to me, it's more as a spot trade, not a leverage trade. Excuse me. There you go. Oh, and something was trying to pop up here for Bitcoin. It's going to be a battle. There we go. Market overreacts. Wait. Oh, Somebody just said something. Oh, my thing moved. There you go. Market always overreacts a little bit on a little move on the CPI. Yeah, remember a lot of times as far as CPI is concerned, the news will be decent or okay. The market will pop up, and the following day we just give back all those gains. Happens quite a bit, but at least people can trade those and make a little bit of money. But yeah, it's be careful if you're going to try to hold through that for multiple days. It's always a little bit more of a trick there. I think time to find an NFT game to play or earn. What do you call live? I live. I don't know. I haven't looked at too many NFT games out there. I do want to start playing some metaverse games for you guys just in my free time when I get some more free time. Um, I need to find one. I think it'll be interesting to see what they have to offer, and it probably wouldn't be many people watching, but I don't care. It'd just be like playing a game, right? I just finished a campaign on Napoleon Total War, so I definitely need to start playing something else besides that and Cyberpunk. And hey, can you do some general tea on the health of Endeavor Group EDR? It's the UFC stock. I'm not looking to trade this. That EDR. Well, if you're looking at the health, it wouldn't really be too much about the technicals. It would be more about the fundamentals of the company. So EDR. Looking close to a breakout right now, which could be pretty nice for it. But the market cap is 10 billion. They're making money, but not a lot. Short float isn't too bad. 7,000 employees. That's not a crazy amount when you consider what's going on as far as this possible recession stuff. Selling off assets, still selling off. Last sale was all the way back over here in June. Oh, that's January. That's actually just a couple weeks ago. So they're still selling off, but not too much. Looks like Shapiro is really the guy making the big bucks here. As far as the technicals go, it looks fine, like it wants to do a breakout here. You can also see that level of support here. Health-wise, not much I can tell you there. What I would have to do is go over here. And then what makes it difficult is, I guess they would probably own different things, right? So you would have to go into their 10K reports down here at the investors, and you would have to try to pinpoint all the UFC stuff within those technicals and see what's going on, because it seems like they have more than just that. They have, let me just go to events here. Leisure Summit with the, let's go annual report. We can go to 2021, it's fine for now. So let me see how Bitcoin's doing, facing some resistance, just so you guys know. So London, so you got bull riding in here as well from our CEO and founder. So UFC, right? Event tickets, own sports properties. So they break it down. Own sports properties, events, experiences, and rights, and representation. And then they got some basketball stuff going. You'd have to dig down in here and see how these are making money. That gets a little bit more complicated. I don't even see the financials here. Let's keep on going down. We should see the blue charts. Now, this might just be like a little report. Okay, not blue like I like them, but... So you can go over here very fast. Revenue and adjusted EBITDA for each of our segments for the year December 31st. Okay, just for the last year. Properties. So we don't have much as far as 2022. They're probably still putting that together right now. Going up, even after COVID going up. Experiences revenue going up. Representation going up. 2020 took a hit, but it looks like it's getting back on track and making more than before. Eliminations going up a little bit. That's not good. It's just what's going down. Like the losses are getting larger. But revenue, they're making about 5 million there. Adjusted, okay, own sports properties, that's fine. Corporate, that's fine. Oh, corporate expenses are going up. That's not good. Probably with inflation and whatnot. Representation going up though. Okay, so that's fine. Revenue. Okay, operating cost is getting more expensive. Inflation. Expenses going up as well. I guess they're making more money, but their expenses are going up as well here. So they go on to tell you what's going on. So it might be better just to read all this stuff. Read what you want out of it, right? Kind of mostly just do a skim. Um, it seems like they're doing fine, though. They're making money year over year. They're still showing growth. Um, this recession might hit them a little bit, but right now, as far as the technicals, they're just in a holding pattern, waiting to either break out or break down. Probably break out. Probably my guess here, because it doesn't look like their events are going to be hit too hard right now because of what's going on, especially as they've shown that they're making more money. Um, you might look at that report, or you might just try to look at that report and see how things have been going. If you can try to find the Q4 report from this last year, or maybe you can try to find the Q3 one. The Q3 should already be there. Q4 might still be in the works. And Ace Hunt, I did Ethereum a few minutes ago. If you just rewind the stream, you should be able to see it. Hey Matt, my mic is really distorted sounding. I did Ethereum. It's really distorted sounding. Hmm. Test, test, test. Properties. I'm not entirely sure how to fix this. Let me turn off the music here. Now I need to keep talking so I can actually hear myself. Let's see. I'm not entirely sure how to fix this. Oh, it sounds a little bit better now. Sounds a little bit better now, I think. Now I need to keep talking so I can actually hear myself. Because I just pushed down my little thing, my little puff thing here, so maybe that was the thing. I don't know. Oh, sorry, I'm listening to myself and I'm talking to myself as I hear myself in the stream. Okay, there we go. Is if good CPI data, how high do you think the T triple Q can move up? Let's take a look at it here. Bitcoin's seeing a little bit of resistance here. This is obviously not crypto. Pro shares. Hmm. Let me do this in two ways. I think it could get back up to $24, not within a day here, but over the week or so. You can see I spent some time down here making new lows, breaking down there, which was kind of scary for it. Popping back up, it's getting back up here too. So I would say tomorrow will probably just break through this resistance level right here pretty darn easily, if you ask me. Then I would say probably up to at least $22 tomorrow with a nice pop here. Today, when the market was just doing so okay, would it move up here today? Like 5% or so. Oh, that's actually pretty decent right there. Yeah, I can definitely see it go back up towards $20 or so, $22. I would probably scale out though, probably between $20.50, which is kind of this mark right here, and $22. 22 is right there. It can always go a little bit higher, but if you're just trying to hold this for one day, probably best to just get out while you can at a nice profit, especially because we don't know exactly what will happen Friday and so forth, right? But if you want to hold on for a few more days, I would just try to trade this range that's kind of been developing. You can see there's kind of a zone right here between these levels of resistances, those levels of resistances, kind of between $23 and $24. Again, I would probably start scaling out a little bit earlier. However, when the market's like this, it usually does try to pump up for one day. The next day, it tries to pop up a little bit, ending up being in a red wick type of day, and then we start coming down the following day. So I would say that you probably have a good opportunity of even hitting $24. But I would probably scale a little bit earlier than that. But that's just me. I tend to get out of positions a little bit too early. There we go. And Bitcoin again is facing a little bit of resistance here from that breakout point, which is going to be definitely hard to get out for us with no stock market going on right now. See. Better now? Okay, that's good. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with it. It could just be one of my connections was a little bit fuzzy. Sometimes that happened, especially because all these wires I got all over the place. Sometimes it just disconnected a tad bit here. But as far as everything else is concerned, everybody, there's not really much else going on besides us just waiting to see if Bitcoin's going to be able to break out here. I'm still looking for Dogecoin to try to have a big move if Bitcoin can really do this here. We also talked about that Leo coin here. It's still down. You can see this isn't the best chart though, so this is something interesting. See right there, there's not much traded. That's why I wanted to see if it was on Binance, but I don't think it is, so I probably won't buy it, but I'll at least watch it here. Oh, and it's fighting with the 20-day moving average as well. So if it breaks out above that, maybe that's the signal I would need to actually start buying it here. Big move there, big move every time it looks like it breaks out above that 20-day moving average there. But until then, yeah, I'm gonna take it easy with it. Now, as far as other news coming out today, what I thought was interesting is like I woke up. Well, I went to bed around 6 o'clock in the morning last night. I have insomnia, and you know, I look on Twitter and I see like FAA system, and I was like, what the heck does FAA have to do with Twitter? I thought we got attacked by terrorism or something like that, terrorists. But the FAA system outage disrupted like thousands of flights across the United States. Everything was grounded for the most part, and it just seemed like another bit of chaos here. And I guess when I was looking on CNBC and Fox Business this morning, they were both talking and making a similar point that a lot of the political appointees in this field, they really don't know too much information about what they're managing. It's usually the bureaucracies just running everything, and the secretaries just there to kind of make sure what the president wants them to do is kind of gets done, like the general policy goals of the bureaucracy there. But this is pretty interesting. I don't know if you guys think it was terrorism that they're just not telling us about because maybe Russia hacked us or South Korea hacked us, and if one of those two were able to hack us, that'd be a very big embarrassment for us, right? If you guys, if Russia has a big power outage or something next week, then I bet it was something like that, like they got us or something like that. But it looks like the problem is solved right now, but I don't know if this is going to happen again. It was very interesting. I don't know if they're probably just going to have to update all their systems, but it seems like this is something that was causing some waves today, but not enough to really freak out the stock market, right? Anything else that I wanted to talk to you guys about here? Oh, the only other thing here, guys, is bounce up here. Go over there. Auto. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say, so never mind. It had to do with Microsoft's going to buy a 49% stake in ChatGPT. It makes me a little bit more bullish for Microsoft down the road here, so I am adding more Microsoft to my long-term positions, which would be pretty fun. Really not too much now, but probably later on when I see the market come back down a little bit more. There you go. And hey, Alan Time, happy to see you back, man. Hope you're doing well. Let me get out of this as far as my other stream is concerned. There we go. Anything else I need to say? No, I think that's it, everybody. This is going to be, I'm going to start doing some nice, easy streams, kind of get what I have to say and don't linger them on too much because I want YouTube to kind of like me more, and we'll see how that goes. But tomorrow, hold on, data, calendar. How do I get out of this? Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. So tomorrow I'll probably be live. I'm not entirely sure. I might just be sleeping because I've been having a really bad sleep schedule. But keep an eye out for inflation data tomorrow morning. This is what will probably end up making Bitcoin pop. Bitcoin could break out, I would say, before this happens, but I would be surprised. Right now, it looks like it's doing a good job. Remember, we're at a level of resistance right now, so just be careful with it. But, I've scaled out. I continue to hold some positions in spot trading to see if it goes higher, but I'm not really doing any leverage trades at this point in time for now. If I see a nice big move tomorrow, maybe I'll do some leverage day trading, and that'll be more of where my mindset is right now. But I'm keeping a track of Ethereum Classic, Dogecoin, this Leo thing here if I have an opportunity to buy it, and still following up a little bit as far as XRP is concerned. Besides that, maybe SHIB is more up your alley, and then don't forget about ICP always being something kind of crazy here when it does these little rebounds. Usually it finds a way to kind of have a really solid couple of weeks, and these moves have been really good. So that's like 200% move right there. So far, this is having a double bottom, in my opinion, here. So I would like to see ICP break out to $5 and then see if it can get all the way up here to $5, $6, $6 or so. All right, so waiting patiently, but at the end of the day, I'm just, taking it easy because I don't want that to form. Then we have to worry about something like, oh, that was a backwards way, wasn't it? Oh, there we go. All right, I don't want that downward channel to form. I want to see us break out, go a little bit higher, and really start to test that $5 level, okay? Just in case you guys are wondering about ICP, more of a